And where is the Batman? He's in this box, waiting to be displayed. Welcome to the Collector Cave. We have a review today of a figure that is probably like the biggest grail figure I could ever have. And that is Batman from 1989 Batman, Michael Keaton. This is from Hot Toys, and I just finally got it today. It arrived earlier today, and finally getting a chance to sit down with this thing. And, you know, most reviews you're going to watch, they're going to talk about the figure. But, you know, for me, this is more about nostalgia with this channel and how collecting makes you feel. So I'm going to take a minute to talk about this because this movie, like for many people in my age bracket, this movie made me fall in love with Batman. When it came out in the summer of '89, I think I was about maybe 12 years old. And I never cared for Batman up until that point. He didn't have superpowers. He wasn't interesting to me. And when this movie came out, my mom took me to see it. It changed everything. And so I don't have much Michael Keaton merchandise, surprisingly. I have the Mezco figure from like last year. But a lot of the stuff came out when I had stopped collecting for some time. So I missed the first release of Hot Toys. I didn't really start collecting Hot Toys until like 2018 or so. So I don't have any of these figures. So this was one that was the grail for me. I said, if they ever re-release Keaton Batman, I'm all in. Now, does this compare to the one that came out like almost a decade ago? I've seen other reviews. I have my reservations about some of it, but at this point, I don't care. I officially own this figure, and I am stoked, completely stoked. And this box, I can't explain to you how big this box is. I think I measured it. It's like over 21 inches tall, like 12 inches wide, 10 inches deep. This is the deluxe version that comes with the cathedral, part of the cathedral wall and the statue at the end of the movie when he's fighting Joker up there. But yeah, this is part of their movie masterpiece collection, as you can see down here, Hot Toys, Batman. This is the MMS693, 1/6 scale collectible figure deluxe version. And man, holy cow. I am so excited. I'm turning this box sideways. It's so big, it doesn't fit in the frame. It's the same thing here on the back. If I move it to the back, the box is a little beat up on the back. Sideshow Hot Toys and their packaging isn't the best. You can see here, it's beat up here, pushed in the corner here. The UPS box I got was busted open on the side. So yeah, but it is what it is. But yeah, here is all the information about this figure, this release, warnings they give you, all this stuff. And then down here is the UPC. So let me spin this thing around. This might be difficult to do this live, but oh my God, this thing is so big. This is by far the biggest Hot Toys I've ever gotten as far as packaging. And this is sticking out. It's kind of popped out. Same with these rivets. They're all popped out. The Batman word is kind of like pushed out as well. It looks really good, feels really good. So let me try and slide this thing up if I can. Yep, there it goes. This is as far as I've gotten it in camera or in real life with you guys. So what you see here is as far as I got. I'm going to set this down over here. And here it is. It's kind of hard to see, but there is Keaton, a couple face plates, a bunch of gadgets. It comes with a bunch of stuff. Oh, look at that shoe. I don't remember seeing Vicky Vale's shoe. That is awesome. They have Vicky Vale's shoe when Joker chucks it down, or whatever it was, she loses her shoes climbing up the cathedral, right? And it falls as Batman's going up the stairs and he sees it. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. They gave that. Bunch of hands. There's part of the cathedral base right there. But man, this is overwhelming. This is overwhelming. Let me get this thing. Let me spin it around and see what the box looks on the side here. Same thing. Same thing as what the front said. The back, ooh, cool. Look at the back. It shows us gadgets. That's, you know, we call it the grapnel gun, but I think for this movie they called it the spear gun, didn't they? Spear gun. There's some of those ninja throwing stars, shurikens, I believe. He never actually used them in the movie. I believe there was either a scene they cut out or there was a scene they cut that showed him for a minute. There's that little thing he uses in the cathedral to punch that guy in the face that's going after him. Batarang. smoke bombs. There's the line launcher, his communicator to the Batmobile, and then I think, is that part of the spear gun? I don't know what that is. How do I not know what that is? Let me know in the comments what that is, because maybe because I'm so excited I don't remember. But regardless, let me pause this, get all this stuff out, and take a look at this thing in detail. It's going to be crazy. Prepare yourselves. Okay, so I've got the packaging opened, but not completely taken out. I took off this cover piece, and then here you can see some of his hands. Looks like he has a total of 8 hands. I mean, all the gadgets you can think of, you know, his batarang with on a wire, this thing to punch. Man, he's got everything. He's got it all. The line launcher, the spear gun, a couple face plates. And then here's the suit. This is going to be controversial, but the way they did the suit this time, the texture, it's really pitted. And I don't think it's screen accurate, which is disappointing. They pitted this way too much. And I'm hoping it wasn't an issue at the factory and they just went with it, because that'd be very disappointing if that was the case. The belt's not as bright yellow as I expected. It's kind of a duller yellow, a little bit duller in real life than in camera. But I mean, I don't care. I'm still happy. The cape doesn't feel as leathery as I thought. It almost feels more like suede, which also I'm not sure how I feel about that. Should be more of a leathery cape, but maybe they did that to have it flow better. We'll see, and maybe not, you know, deteriorate over time with the faux leather. But boy, I don't know what to do. This is so insane. There's so much stuff. Here's the statue. It's looking like that gargoyle is going to be huge. Wow, this is not just a piece of wood, a bunch of pieces of broken wood. So let's get this stuff all unboxed. Give me a few minutes. I'll come back. I'm going to pause it, and we're going to get all this stuff out to show in detail. Wow, stay tuned. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Because this is such a huge release, we're going to start with the diorama that comes with this. And again, this is the deluxe version. So I'm going to get weird for a second, but if you guys enjoy the smell of toys, and if you love the smell of hot toys, you know that smell. This thing is like glorious when it comes to that. Okay, weirdness is over. Let's move on to this thing. This diorama is immaculate. Immaculate. It's not polystone. It's like some type of PVC plastic, and it's hollow inside, but whatever. It looks really good. It's painted great. This piece of wood here came out separate, and you just plug it in. There's a little hole there to plug it in. And then back there is where the crotch grabber goes. So I probably will put that in there and display him this way in my detolf. Good news and bad news. Good news is this fits in your detolf, no problem. So Batman on here in there, no problem. Putting the gargoyle on, however, breaks the barrier. So if you want to put this into detolf, you have to remove one of your you know, levels and do that whole mod thing, or you display them somewhere else. But then you got dust to worry about with this suit, and the way the suit is, I'd be worried about dust collecting on that suit, honestly. But let's look at the gargoyle. I probably won't use this gargoyle because I do want this in my detolf the way I currently have it. But man, this thing is detailed really good. It's more green than I ever realized. I think in the movie was so dark that it's hard to tell. But if you could look online, someone that was on the production crew kept one of these, one of the original makes. It was made out of clay and then painted, and it was kept in his garden for like 20 plus years. And they got a hold of it. He auctioned it off, and someone bought it in real life, and it was all, you know, worn out and discolored. But if you look at that photo online, it does have this green in it. So the thing about the cathedral in Batman '89 was that it was already closed down during the time of that movie in the Gotham lore. It was a church originally. It was condemned. So this thing was old. That's why it looks so beat up and old. It was old. And Batman used it, according to reference work I saw online, when early in his career, at the very top, he would listen for criminals and for people that needed help. In fact, at the beginning of the movie, you see him at the top of the cathedral walking when those two guys, the thugs, mugged those people at the very beginning. But anyway, the cathedral's like 800 feet tall, so this kind of just tops it off. But look at the detail in this thing. If I zoom in a little bit, or a lot, this looks really good. Look at that detail. It looks like stone. It's got some good weight to it. There's the wings. Look at the detail in the wings. And the back. There's no tail. There's no tail. There's a butt. There's some butt cheeks there with a gargoyle. And then it pegs in. And I'll show you how that works. It's pretty cool, actually. So yeah, pretty neat. But let's look at this this a little bit better in detail. So down at the very front here, there's the Batman. And I don't think there's a piece of plastic on that. They got to have the TM on there, don't they? The trademark. That's okay. But yeah, the wood is done very good. Busted up boards, the stonework, the dry brushing, the detail in the blocks. And then on the side here, this is kind of cool. This makes me feel like, as a kid, with Star Wars, grew up in the 80s, I had the Dagobah, Yoda's hut, the play set. And I remember looking at that hut for a long time, and you'd find like a lizard and a snake and all these different things they had molded in there. This is kind of similar because you're going to display Batman on the front, likely. But if you spin this thing around, you see some cool stuff. Like there's like gravel, like these rocks that have fallen off from above. There's a little drain pipe right here. Look at that drain pipe. Like an old stone gutter. And you have another gargoyle here where water can come out. And I'm pretty sure that goes all the way through. It does. I could actually put water in there and pour it out if I wanted to. So all these cool little details. There's the pillar. That's where the gargoyle sits. And we'll get to that in a minute. Let me back out a little bit. I'm kind of close, but I want to show you guys the detail. And even back here on the side here, you could have Batman doing a whole bunch of different types of poses on this diorama if you choose to do so. But as far as the gargoyle, I'm going to try and do this live. There's two holes up top, and you just place him in there. And he fits in pretty good. And here's the cool thing. Watch this. This thing turns. So you can have the gargoyle looking however you want. Check it out. You can rotate this thing. So you can have the gargoyle looking this way if you want. However you want to do it. What a cool display option. Epic. So, yeah, there's so much to this that I figured I'd start with a diorama. This is, the exclusive to the deluxe version. This is why you're paying more. And personally, we'll talk about the price at the end of the video, but I think this was worth it in my opinion. Because there's not enough dioramas with Hot Toys. It's just, they don't give you enough. And so to have something like this, boy, is Batman going to fit between here? That crotch grabber is huge too. It's one of those big ones. Wow, that's pretty crazy. I may not even use this, honestly. We'll see. But I just wanted to show you guys how it looks, displayed in here. What a nice piece. Okay, let's move on from this and then get to Batman and all the stuff he comes with. Okay, and here is Batman and everything he comes with. Comes with quite a bit, a lot of stuff. He has directions, which are always important to look at with Hot Toys, especially with this type of suit material. It's important that you don't overbend the joints and stuff, or get too much humidity with the suit, stuff like that. Then it shows you he has moving eyes. Both eyes move independently. You take the cowl off, and there's a tool to move the eyeballs. And then it shows you how to change out the 3 different faceplates that he comes with. And then he does come with the bars to make the cape up, like in the beginning of the movie when he kind of comes down behind those 2 thugs on the rooftop. And then it shows you where the wires are at on the cape. Looks like there's 6 total wires, which is nice. I always love that. And then this is showing you how to do the, what is this? Oh, these are pointy spots, right? And then pointy spots with the fins, and then some of the details there being very delicate. And then it shows you how to put the hand together with that gauntlet that comes out and punches the guy in the face. And then the spear gun. And there's a magnet in the belt that holds when it's apart, which is pretty cool. And then not sure what this base is. I don't have that. That must be for the non-deluxe version. But yeah, that's everything with the directions. So let's take a look at all this stuff. Vicky Vale's shoe. I don't ever remember seeing that in the blogger shots. That is hilarious that they gave you the shoe. It's actually a pretty good detail for a high-heeled shoe, right? You could kind of maybe put it like it's fallen down somewhere there or something. He's walking up. And yeah, there's those bars, the rods that go on the cape. We might try doing that, we'll see. And then these are extra wrist pegs in case you break them. And then there's that little item that punches that guy in the face up in the cathedral that comes out. The batarang is super cool, but it only comes with the wire on it, which is kind of a bummer. But I guess in the movie, that's how he threw it. It had a wire attached. Doesn't fold up. But yeah, it looks good. It looks just like the prop from the movie. And then his spear gun does come apart, and it folds open for him to hold it. There's those gas pellets, the shurikens. This is for, what was that for? Popping out the face plates when you take the head off. And then there's this little comms thing when you talk to the Batmobile to put the shields up. This thing, I still don't know what it is. I meant to look it up and I forgot. I'm not sure what that is. Man, I can't believe I don't know that. And then here's the line launcher, which we're going to look at this in detail because it actually has a spring. There's actually a spring. See that spring right there? So let me zoom out a little bit here. If you can actually open this thing up. It's real delicate though. You'd be really careful with this. Oh, and the spring just came off, as I just said that. So yeah, look out for that. I honestly don't know why they use the spring. I'll have to use tweezers to pull it back. It's not broken, it just came off one of the angles. But yeah, I don't really plan on using the line launcher. It's a cool device, one of the coolest ones I think he had in the movie. But it's just, it doesn't match the base, right? But that's fine. And then he comes with a bunch of hands. 6 extra hands to be exact. And then here is the faceplate that everyone hates. They call it Bugs Bunny. I see Keaton's lower face in it. I do, the lips especially. And then here's the one where he's beat up, you know, after the Batwing is shot down by Joker. And he's all beat up. So that might be a good one to put on with the display base here, right? With that piece there. And then here's the figure. So let me move some of this stuff out of the way so we can kind of start going over some of the details in this figure and the articulation. Okay, so here's the figure in closer detail. Does it look like Keaton? I think it does, but it's not the best. I think the original release looked better, personally. But man, this is close enough for me. I don't have that release. Again, like I told you, this is a Grail figure for me, so I am absolutely fine with that. Cowl looks good. One thing that's nice about this version, the other version that this one doesn't have, is to move the eyes. In that version, you had to pop off the back of the head, and it just broke that up. It didn't look right. But this looks really good. This is kind of rubbery, so you shouldn't have to worry too much about it putting a hole in the cape. Although it is a little pointy, but it's not like hard plastic where it's super sharp. But still be careful. I think this is for 15 years and up, you know, small parts, so no 3 years and younger. And then the biggest issue that I probably have, and I'm not really as bummed about as I thought I would be, is the pitting in this suit. It's just, it's not accurate. Unless maybe in real life they had a look at the suit and it looked like this, but under movie lighting and whatever type of, you know, filter they use for the movie, maybe the filter took that away. But I'm pretty sure I've seen reference shots of this suit and it didn't have all this pitting like it does. It's just too much. But I'm not going to let that ruin this for me, for this figure. And that belt does look nice. I had to take that paper off. I know people leave that paper on, but I want to display this guy and enjoy him. I don't want to see black paper. And there's a bit of a magnet right here to hold the spear gun on his belt, which is kind of cool. And so we'll go over articulation in a minute. There's the bat symbol. Looks really good. That's like a hard plastic. Let me zoom in really close on that. That's a hard plastic, and I think it looks really good. I like it. So articulation. Here we go. The head. Oh, wait. This is Michael Keaton Batman. There is no head articulation. which is fine. This is how it was. He had to move crazy to turn his head, right? I think like even like the Dark Knight, they make fun of that, right? He wants to be able to turn his head. But man, I'm okay with it. It's a silicone rubber suit. It's what I grew up with, and I love it. Now, with that said, it does move. He can move back a little bit. It does pull the chest emblem up some, though, and he can look down just a tad. Like the whole cowl moves. So you do have some. Like that looking down looks really good right there. I like that. And then the cape, like I mentioned, is wired, 6 wires. And the cape does look like it did in the movie. I have to admit, in the lights, it looks pleathery, but it's not pleather. So maybe that's a good thing, because these pleather capes do deteriorate over time. So it looks screen accurate looking at it in the camera especially. It has that sheen to it. It has the stitch lines, but it feels like suede to me, or some sort of suede-ish material in real life. But again, I'm not going to lose sleep over that. That's actually okay. So articulation, the arms. There's no ratchets on the arms, and the suit does impede the arms from going 90. They spring back a little bit. As you can see, it springs down, but that's not bad. For this rubbery suit, and just so you guys know, this is not tacky. Maybe a little bit, but nothing like the Val Kilmer one, or even my Spider-Man 2 I just recently got. It's not that material. This is like maybe like medical grade silicone, maybe, I'm not sure. Anyway, it does have a bicep swivel, but again, because of that rubber, it's a little hindered, and double jointed elbows, which actually holds the pose, which is good to know, because the old one I think sprung back. And you can see here what it looks like. There is a crease there. Will this cause long-term damage? That's the question everybody asks, right? I just changed out my DTOF and put some figures away that I had posed in certain ways for 2 years. A Spider-Man, a Miles Morales, and a Captain Marvel. And I undid it, and there was a crease there, but then the crease went away after a few minutes. Like the suit healed itself. So I'm of the opinion, I don't know enough about this material to say for sure, but I think you might be okay. I don't know. We'll see, right? I've seen people re-review the old one, and it's held up. And it's been almost, 10 years? Maybe over 10 years? So getting back, sorry, this is just so much fun. And these are ball hinge wrist joints. And look at the fists. You can see those, like the metal pieces he has in there, which you don't really see in the movie until the end when he puts his palm out with that extension that hits that guy in the face. Okay, back out. And now for the upper articulation, it is ratcheted, and he does go forward, not too bad. But as you can see, it bunches up. And then going back, he goes back about that far. Not a whole lot, but not horrible. And then he doesn't really rock either way. In twisting, not so much. He springs right back. He doesn't twist. So he can twist, but he won't really hold. He holds it a little bit. So not a whole lot of movement there. And then the legs. Ratchet thighs. But as you can see, that thigh wants to pop back down. And then you can see what the suit does there. So you really don't want to pose this guy dynamically. You're going to really want to have more of a museum pose, I think. And then the thigh does swivel. And then the knees are nice ratchets, and they are double jointed. And it gets you about that much. Not too shabby. And that actually holds the pose. And then the boots, unfortunately, they are single. There's no cut in the boot. So this is all one piece. Absolutely no articulation in the feet. So, maybe they held true to what this suit looks like. And I guess that's what we really want, right? I don't need to dynamically pose this Batman, because we can pose this guy in a way that makes him look amazing in just a few simple movements. So I'm okay with the articulation. Would I have liked more? Sure, I think so. But overall, I'm not disappointed. I'm not disappointed. So let's just do a close look at this figure real quick. Okay, I just kind of want to give a detailed look at this figure. I've got him on the crotch grabber. It's real tight, getting the cape behind. It's real tight back there, but I was able to do it. It's not too difficult, but just know that you're gonna have to push that cape down. Let me just zoom in and just do a detailed look in this figure, because I think he does look spectacular. I got something on mine right here in the corner. There we go. Gotta have that cowl looking clean. I think the eyes absolutely look like Keaton. The mouth and the jaw, not as much as the original release, in my opinion. I'm trying to see if you look at different angles, if it looks more like him. Maybe there, you can see the mouth, the lips, right? Keaton lips. Certain angles look better than others. Let's just go ahead and continue on down. Nice detailed look here. The gauntlets, I've always loved the way these gauntlets look. I don't know what it is about them, but those two lines on that gauntlet, I just absolutely think it's the coolest look ever. Definitely my favorite Batman gauntlets ever. And the fins look great. Same with the gloves, the boots. I think there's some sort of Nike, right? If I remember correctly. Trainers or something like that, which of course they didn't get the license for here, but they look cool. Yeah, this looks really good. The Vicky Vale shoe is such a great touch. It'd been cool if they would have given Joker's hat and coat to hang on this gargoyle. But I guess if you have that release, that Nicholson release from years ago, you could always do that with this scene. That would look awesome. And then there's the cape. You know, there's different ways in the movie that he wore the cape. For blogger shots, for shots for the movie, for marketing, I think they had it up over his shoulders a lot of times. But I like it when it's draped down, kind of covering him. Looks better. But there's the belt. Yeah, really cool. So let's try and do some poses. See what we get. Okay, so this figure takes a lot of work. Getting those eyeballs moved was not easy. I changed the face sculpt and I put the gun in his hand, the spear gun. I don't think I have it in right. I'm afraid to force it more because I know it goes in further, but I'm just afraid to force it because I don't want to break it. It seems very fragile to me. But here is that other head sculpt. I guess it doesn't look too bad. It's definitely not my favorite. I'm not going to be using it. But there I've got the eyes turned because you can't really turn the head, right? So he's like kind of like this, shooting the spear gun. That's about as high up as I can get his arm too. It was not easy to get his arm to stay up. It kept wanting to pop down because of the force of that rubber suit. So while he comes with all these gadgets, because of lacking articulation, it's going to be hard to use a lot of this stuff. There's kind of more for show. But yeah, kind of cool that I could do that. That buck teeth one doesn't look as bad as I thought it was going to, I guess. Definitely my least favorite one. Let's try the other one, the beat up one. Okay, so I'm trying to get this this thing working, but his arm doesn't want to stay up. It's this guy right here, with the extension, right? The punch thing that comes out. You just slide that in between the gauntlet and the hand when you put the hand on. But the arm does not want to stay up. It's the material is so strong. See how the arm goes back down? So I think you can maybe find a sweet spot to make it stay, but I'm just worried about the material bunching and what might happen. So I would never leave him in a pose with his arms up, seeing how this is. Just, I don't trust it. I don't trust it. I don't know what's going to happen because you're really forcing a lot of stuff. Some minor posing, sure, but pulling his arms up to hold a spear gun or that thing or the line launcher over time, I absolutely am not going to do that with my personal copy here that I've spent my hard-earned money on. Let's look at that head sculpt though, because the head sculpt, this one does look really nice. Let me put him back on the stand here so he stands good. Yeah, I might actually use this one. Boy, because this, you know, this is that scene in the movie up in the cathedral. He's all beat up and the Batwing crashing. If you read the novel, me and my buddy read it when the movie came out. It's been years now, but in that, when he crashed in the Batwing, he like got busted up. I think he broke a bunch of ribs. I think his knee was dislocated, one of his knees. So he was beat up when he was climbing those stairs, 800 feet up to the top of that cathedral, fighting those bad guys, Joker goons. There's a lot of stuff that he went through when that Batwing crashed. Details you'd never find out from actually just watching the movie, right? But wow, I think this one looks like Keaton the most right there. That's it. I may have to fix his left eye. It looks a little wonky. Using this thing right here to get you use this end of it to get the eye holes inside when you pull the cowl off is difficult. I found it easier getting my finger in there to move it around. I got small hands, so I mean it worked for me. But the eyes do move, which is kind of cool. Yeah, I gotta fix the eyes just a little bit. But the open part of the cowl with his mouth out looks really good. Let's look at it from the side here. Yeah, that's Keaton right there, man. I may have to use this one. This face sculpt here. Let me try from this side. Yeah, that looks like Keaton right there. Look at that. That's Keaton. That's Keaton right there. Boom. Awesome. Okay, let's try some other poses real quick. Okay, so one of the blogger shots has him standing on top of this, and he's got his arms out with the cape out with those rods. I tried putting the rods in, and it's very gimmicky. I was afraid I was going to rip the cape, trying to get his hands to hold the rods and stretch that cape out, so I stopped. So I'm not going to ever have his cape displayed that way, as cool as that would look. But I'm holding him with my hand because he's not going to stand up here without falling, I don't think. Oh gosh, he is. He's standing. Let me back out and try to show how massive of a piece this is. I need to try and measure this. Let's get a tape measure out real quick. Cross your fingers, guys, that he doesn't fall while I do this. Let's see what we got. It's almost 24 inches to the ears. Almost 2 feet. That's insane. So yeah, if you want to put him in a DTOF like this, good luck. But you can still have him maybe on this. Let's see, will he stand here? You could have him probably stand in here. You know, with the feet not being able to move and articulate, you really can't do much with it. He won't stay. I could probably futz it like this. Yeah, that'll work. So I got his feet like this. So if you want to use the back side of this display, like he's almost on the edge of the cathedral looking down or something, you could do that. Man, that head sculpt, that is awesome. That looks so darn good. Love it. Love it. All right, maybe one last pose here. This is pretty cool. I like how this turned out. You can have him like he's climbing the cathedral steps, and he's beat up, he's wounded, so he's using his hand to support himself going up all those flights of stairs. He's got Vicky's shoe that fell down, or I can't remember, Joker dropped her. I think she lost it. She tripped and it fell off, right? And there he is struggling to climb all those stairs, determined to save the girl, right? Man, that is really cool. I don't know that I'll display him like this, but there's a pose you could get, just very minimal, moving the leg up some. You do see the suit does bunch there above his right thigh, the crotch area. So just be mindful of that. Yeah, this looks really good. Let's do a couple comparisons. Okay, before I do a comparison, I want to show real quick, because one of the biggest problems with the Keaton Batmans is the capes flare out. They can never get the cape right. The cape isn't laid right. And look at this. I'm happy to report that this cape lays great, because his cape with it, that heavy leather, and it laid nice and flat and straight in the movie, right? And we can never get that. Like the Mezco one's all popped out, like it's got like, I don't know, bozo ears or Dumbo ears. But look at this, man. This is like, this is like perfection. Looks like that picture. Besides the beat up face sculpt, this is like how he looked standing next to the Batmobile in that promo shot. Kind of like this. Just like that. Yeah, that is awesome, man. That's the face sculpt. Even if I had him standing like this in my DTOF, I think that is epic. Epic. Okay, let's do some comparisons real quick. Okay, here is 89 Batman next to Arkham Knight Batman, the Prestige edition, and also the Sideshow. That's like the noir one that came out a couple years ago. And just so you know, Keaton stands to the base of his head 12 inches, with the ears about 12 and a half. And Arkham Knight Batman is huge. I mean, he's a massive figure. His hands are big, but I think he scales really good with the Sideshow one, which I love that look, that Golden Age look, super cool. But yeah, these look pretty cool together. Okay, and finally here he is next to some third-party releases. Mars Toys on the left, Bruce Wayne, Mr. W, and on the right, I forget what they call them, but it's, you know, it's Jack Nicholson's Joker. He comes with a couple of face sculpts. This suit, though, is from when he roasted Rotelli with the Joy Buzzer, but they gave you that extra head sculpt from when he was in the museum. But I just love that look so much. But yeah, side by side, man, these look phenomenal. And if I didn't have this huge, you know, honking base that's going to be going in my display cabinet, I'd be able to fit all three of these together in one display. But for now, I'm going to use the diorama. If down the road I want to change it out, I can do so. So yeah, let's wrap this thing up. Okay, at the end of the day, is this thing worth it? That is the question, right? For me, absolutely. This is a figure I've wanted since I was a kid. And here I am, decades later, finally been able to enjoy this. This is already probably my favorite Hot Toys figure I own, and I have a lot that I really like a lot. But this is special to me. It holds a place in my childhood memory, like many people. Not the only one out there, and I think it turned out good. The suit is a little pitted. That's the only knock I really have. The articulation I expected to be an issue. It's better than I thought, but you're not going to get many dynamic poses. It's just not going to happen. The shoe is a nice touch, super cool. And this diorama. Let me get this guy back on here too. Get this big guy back on here. Get him in the picture. And if you get some uplighting, you can really make that thing look good. Yeah, cool. Anyway, so it's not available on BBTS. It's on Sideshow. It's waitlisted right now. It's waitlisted. The collector edition that doesn't come with the base is still waitlisted. So the collector edition, which didn't come with the diorama, was $284, and then this one was $350. So I had some Sideshow points I used, so it was much cheaper than that for me. That's a nice thing with Sideshow, is you can gain points and get money off, stuff like that. So yeah, but anyway, absolutely worth it. I'm gonna take the gargoyle off to fit my Detolf, but I'm okay with that. This is gonna be a centerpiece in my room for when people come in. They're gonna see this immediately and be like, oh, Keaton Batman, and it's gonna be cool. So man, I can't believe that after all these years I own this figure. I'm so excited right now, and I hope if you guys got this figure, you feel the same way. You know, let me know how you guys feel about this figure. Did you like it? Do you like it? What do you think of it? Do you have it on order? Do you already have it? Did you pass on it? Either way, you know, let me know. You know, like, comment, subscribe. I want to talk about this guy a lot. And until next time, this has been Hot Toys, Michael Keaton '89 Batman version 2.0. Thanks for watching.